Like many life and farming simulation games, in Moonlight Peaks, your daily progress will be limited by your stamina. But luckily, there are some really great, simple ways to refill your energy so you can stay productive and make some serious progress. Hello friends, Sarah Sunstone here, and welcome back to Wish I Knew. In today's episode, I'll be sharing some of the simplest ways to replenish your stamina in Moonlight Peaks, so you can really make the most of your days, especially in earlier game. Please go ahead and shine the lovely like button if you find these videos helpful, and make sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on for more Moonlight Peaks content. Otherwise, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Now, before we get into the specific foods that are great for replenishing your vampire's energy, I just wanted to give a quick overview of the game's stamina system, in case you're brand new to the game or could use a little refresher. So your stamina is the amount of energy you have to carry out tool-based actions every day in Moonlight Peaks, and it is tracked with the pink bar in the upper left corner of your interface. As you use up your stamina throughout the day, this bar will deplete, and once you completely run out, you won't be able to use your tools until you go to sleep and start a new night. That is, unless you refill your energy. Now this is where consumables come into play, which there's a lot of in Moonlight Peaks. You can check how much stamina every food item will replenish upon consumption when hovering over the item in your inventory, as indicated by the little lightning bolts. Now in early game, you'll likely notice that most individual items like crops and even some fancy prepared food items don't really offer much in the way of stamina, which is why I've put together a list of specific foods that are great for this and also really easy to make. Because honestly, many of the foods that offer a lot of stamina require some pretty picky and seasonal ingredients, while others are worth a lot of money, in which case you'd probably rather sell them. So let's get into my low maintenance list of stamina superfoods. First up is gazpacho soup, which is available as a starter recipe and can be made at the cooking station. This recipe requires blood tomatoes and onions, both of which are crops that can be grown year-round. So no matter the season, you can make this no problem. The seeds for these crops are also very affordable, but they're also available as random drops from dig spots, making them completely free to grow in many cases. The dish itself will replenish 40 stamina at base quality, but will offer even more stamina per soup when cooking with quality ingredients. This is easily the best dish you can use for stamina replenishment when you're just getting started with the game. Another easy to make consumable for early game stamina is blood grape juice, and you'll be set up for this immediately because your first main quest requires you to make some wine by growing grapes and processing them with your keg. However, if you process some of your blood grape harvests into juice instead, one single bottle will offer 40 stamina at base quality, and scaling up the stamina value as quality increases. The blood grapes can be grown during spring and summer, so it's great for getting started. Plus, it only takes 3 grapes to brew the juice, rather than the 4 required for a bottle of wine. So you can definitely balance making wine bottles for profit, and then using leftover extra grapes for stamina juice. But if you're not a huge fan of farming or have been spending a lot of time fishing to complete your collections, I wanted to provide another great option, because you shouldn't just focus on refilling your stamina, you should also be enjoying yourself in the process. So keeping that in mind, my next recommendation is fishy soup, a recipe that can be found as a random drop in dig spots. This recipe requires 1 glibby and 1 orbis fish, both of which can be found in Silver Vale Lake. This recipe also replenishes 40 stamina per bowl and does scale with increased quality, but it is worth noting that this dish also sells for a little bit more money than the gazpacho, so there is a trade-off here. Now, my next recommendation requires unlocking spellcasting first, so you can start growing magical crops with a quest line that kicks off after receiving a letter in the mail from Luna. You'll learn how to grow a magical crop called moonfruit, and will even be given some seeds for free to get started. However, you can purchase additional seeds from Luna's seed stall and grow them year-round. So again here, this is a great stamina solution regardless of season. After harvesting the moonfruits, you can process them into juice using the keg, with each bottle of juice offering 50 stamina at base quality and scaling up as quality increases. Another great stamina dish you can easily make once you've unlocked spellcasting is something called googly soup. Now, this recipe can be obtained through purchasing the Cooking for Vampires cookbook at Coffee and Coffins, and you'll be notified by Mina through your mailbox once this cookbook actually becomes available for purchase, so don't worry if you don't see it at the shop just yet. This dish is nice because it's pretty low maintenance, just requiring common mushrooms, which are very abundant if you're regularly foraging in the Cave of Echoes, and also some dried googly garlic, which can be grown in the herb planters during spring, summer, and autumn, so almost year-round. Once grown and harvested, you'll also need to use the herb drying rack to process it before cooking. The googly soup will replenish 45 stamina at base quality, scaling with increased quality just like all the other dishes. But this stamina dish is really great for adventurers, those who frequent the caves regularly, and maybe just don't want to do as much farming. And while you're growing googly garlic, there's another great stamina-rich recipe that you can make that uses this as an ingredient, which is the shakshuka, a recipe that is also available in the Cooking for Vampires cookbook at Coffee and Coffins. This recipe requires 1 blood tomato, which, as we previously established, is easily obtainable, often for free, and growable year-round. You'll also need 1 egg, which you'll collect an abundance of once you've adopted at least 1 chicken from Luna's ranch. To do this, you'll just need to first build a barn by visiting Howling Hammer. And then, of course, you'll also need that googly garlic, this time in the form of powder. For the googly garlic powder, you'll just need to crush up the dried googly garlic with an enchanted mortar, the blueprint for which Luna will give you during the Need for Herbs main quest. Although this one does sound a little more complex than others on the list, it's actually pretty simple and straightforward once you're a little more established in later spring or early summer of your first year. And the great thing about this one specifically is that it's a dish that offers great stamina and profit benefits. A lot of the times it's one or the other, but in this case, if you're collecting ingredients to batch cook, you can benefit in more ways than one. The shakshuka provides you with 60 stamina at base quality, all the way up to 90 stamina for a 2-star dish. But I would personally recommend consuming the base quality dishes for these stamina boosts, while selling the higher quality dishes to receive the best benefits for both productivity and profit. Finally, the best, most low-maintenance item for replenishing stamina is blood orange juice, with fruit trees available for purchase at Luna's seed stall. Now, the blood orange fruit tree takes 25 entire nights to grow, so I suggest getting it right away if you can, especially because it only produces fruit in spring and summer. Otherwise, this is going to be a great easy option for your second year of gameplay, because processing the fruit into juice with your keg will provide 110 stamina per bottle at base quality, with more stamina to offer for higher quality bottles. Now, it is worth noting that you can purchase bottles of blood orange juice at the Broken Lamp for 350 gold apiece. But I personally think there are plenty of other ways to manage stamina without spending your precious coins, which honestly can just be better used on other things, like tool upgrades, which will reduce the stamina spent for your tool-based actions with every upgrade. So I don't really recommend purchasing the orange juice unless you have tons of money and just want to cut to the chase. I also wanted to share a couple of stamina solutions if you're in a pinch, which I myself have used countless times. If you find yourself in the mines and short just a little bit of stamina for a dig spot or to finish hitting a rock that you've already sunk some stamina into, you can actually just eat a couple of the mushrooms found in the mines to give you just enough energy for these actions. This is sort of a last resort strategy, but if you're in early game and you don't have much else, it's better to eat a couple of mushrooms to collect those resources than leave them behind. The other emergency stamina food you can use would be any fish, which actually do offer some fairly decent stamina, just consuming them on their own. Now, generally speaking, I recommend keeping one of each type of fish for your collections, and then cooking with the rest to maximize stamina and profit. But again, in a pinch, eating a fish can be better than leaving precious resources behind. So there you have it, friends. Hopefully these simple solutions shared in today's video will really help you out with stamina management as you're enjoying Moonlight Peaks. Let me know down in the comments what has been your favorite activity so far, or has been draining your stamina the most. Anything and everything, you know I always love hearing from you. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. And until next time, take care.